Hi, James here from the Excire team, and I want to show you this very cool feature in Excire Foto 2027 that many folks don't know about, called Excire Analytics. It's hidden in the background, but it's a powerful way to analyze your own photography habits and figure out the settings that work best for you when shooting. Excire Analytics can even save you money since it can help you determine which gear you might consider selling and which gear gives you the best results. So let's fire up Excire Foto 2027 and I'll explain how Excire Analytics works. With Excire Foto 2027 running, you'll want to look in the main menu here. We're looking for Analytics. Click on this and then choose Open Analytics for current view. You'll then see this Analytics window, which allows you to explore data from the current view in Excire Foto. And since I had been viewing all my photos in the database, this data is going to literally come from every photo that's been added to this database. Now, the display might seem complex here, and it'd be understandable if you felt confused, but I'm happy to tell you it's actually fairly simple once you learn your way around. Basically, the Analytics module lets you analyze and compare different attributes from your photos. Here, under Attributes on the right-hand side, you can choose the elements that you want to analyze. And there are a bunch of different options here. So you could analyze your photos based on, let's say, focal length. And you could also choose as a second attribute, aesthetics here. And immediately Excire adjusts its display to show you how aesthetically pleasing your photos turned out at different focal lengths. So you can see that in this catalog, there weren't a ton of images that were rated in the 80 to 90 range. But for the images that were taken in this 80 to 90 range, this row here, they were often captured using a focal length between 23 and 55 millimeters. And this is based on Excire's aesthetic scores, but you could change the main attribute if you like to something like star rating here, or flag if you consistently apply those labels when you're doing culling. And from this you can say, okay, if my best photos are often taken between 23 and 55 millimeters, maybe I should consider using those focal lengths more often. And you could even say, well, okay, I'm going to invest more in lenses that are in that range, and maybe I'll sell some of my lenses that fall into the ranges that haven't given such great results. If you wanted to explore the specific lenses you were using further, you could always change the main attribute here to lens model. Basically, there's a lot that you can play around with here, and you can filter. You can filter by date, for instance. You can also filter down here by keywords, ratings, labels, flags, metadata, plus you can change the chart type to visualize the data differently. Maybe, for instance, you want to see the apertures you use most frequently on your 5-star photos. So for this, you can change the chart type to bar horizontal, and then you can come back down to attributes, and you could choose F number as the main attribute. So right now, we're only seeing the different apertures used and the number of photos that they were used for. So you can see the vast majority of the photos here were taken at f2.8. But if I come down here, I can say I only want to see those 5-star shots. And the trend does seem to be maintained that the images that were 5-star images, the majority of them were taken with a very wide aperture. And this can be interesting to play around with, and you can learn a lot just by testing out different attributes and filters here. But I do want to emphasize that you should make sure you're interpreting the data correctly before you change how you're shooting, for instance, or sell a bunch of gear. For example, just because you took lots of 5-star photos with an f2.8 aperture doesn't necessarily mean that f2.8 is the perfect aperture for you. Maybe you just shoot at f2.8 all the time, and therefore you get a lot of good shots at f2.8. In other words, it's not that you have an unusually large proportion of great images taken at f2.8. You just do a lot of f2.8 shooting, and you can expect that if you shoot a lot at a particular aperture, you're going to start to accumulate some good photos. So basically just use this, take advantage of it. It's really useful, but don't just make decisions without careful consideration. Last, it's important to pay attention to the current set of photos you have selected when you open the analytics module, because those are the photos that will be analyzed. If I close this here, if you choose a different set of photos, for instance, if I were to choose this set here, and then I come up here and I were to click to open analytics for the current view, the data would be entirely different, and I'd see something very different. But when you're just getting started, it often does make sense to just choose all photos here, and then you can look at all of your images and see what patterns you can find. Hopefully, you now feel ready to head into Excire and test out that analytics module. As I said, it can feel complicated at first, but it's actually pretty easy to use once you get the hang of it. And if you're not sure where to start, just try out some different settings and see what you get. See if you can identify some patterns in your shooting and use that to make informed decisions moving forward. Thanks so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, go ahead and click that like button. Of course, for more tips and tutorials on Excire's AI-powered photo management tools, subscribe to our channel.